octave mandolin, archtop octave mandolin, which I don't know how to play. Let's see. The cool thing about not knowing any actual fiddle tunes is that when you just make something up, no one can say you did it wrong, right? So there's my attempt at that. I can play the mandolin pretty well. I can play the guitar, but this is a little confusing to me because it's got sort of like the spacing of a guitar and the frets, and yet it's tuned in fifths. So there's that. I would love to have a little more time with this guitar instrument thing because it has a great, like this deep, chesty voice with a mandolin tonality. Really, really fun to play. Archtop instruments, I don't have a whole lot of experience building them. And I just think of archtop building as sort of the pinnacle of luthery, so I love when I get to dabble in it. My client, Jim, thank you very much for this journey on this particular instrument. It started out as it was going to be a mandolin, a flat top mandolin built in the style of the Kama series. Then it was going to be, I think, just an ibex guitar for a while. Then it turned into an octave mandolin on an ibex-sized body, which is what this is. And ultimately, it became a carved top and back. So it had many iterations before I actually put chisel to wood. I got this beautiful set of red maple from Old Standard, a lovely Sitka spruce top from my buddy Rob Goldberg up in Alaska. The rest of this is ebony. And it has a lot of the things that are found on my Kama series, but in this archtop instrument. So it's multi-scale. It's 20 to 20 and a half. So 20 and a half on the G string and 20 on the E string. It's got an arm bevel. I haven't seen an archtop instrument with an arm bevel like this before. It's kind of a trip. You really got to think about when you're putting together doing the initial carving. I was really scared on how I was going to make my 3D sound hole, which is already hard enough when you're putting it into basically a flat top. I mean, my flat tops have a 28-foot radius. This one's like all over the place, and it's compound, right? So I was really worried about that, but it came out beautifully. I'm just really, really pleased with this instrument, and ended up doing like a very subtle golden yellow burst on it. I wanted it to sort of look like a member of the viol family. So like I said, this is built on my Ibex. I use the molds, the body molds for my Ibex guitar. So it's 12 and an eighth inch across. It's really cool and interesting, and it was a brain teaser. I mean, when you want to make a scale length that's this much shorter, because this guitar was designed for a longer scale length, it's got this long, thin body. And I ended up making this a 13 fret. I did some drawings with it as a 14 fret, and I did some drawings with it as a 13 fret, or rather as a 12 fret. And the 12 fret looked too squatty, although it put the bridge in a pretty good place. The 14th fret, I liked the proportions, but I did not like where the bridge ended up. So we compromised here with the 13. I tried to make all the components nice and light and small to match the petite proportions of the instrument. And strangely enough, when I was building this, and I believe this is still it, there's like this international shortage of mandolin tuners. Like I couldn't get grand tune mandolin tuners for this, which is what I was going to use. So I ended up using Godot Minis, which I think are pretty good. They're just about proportionally correct. And of course, they work very smoothly, so that's nice. So ebony and maple is what this baby is, and it has quite a bit of a long sustain, which is nice. You know, it's like... I can imagine like the Vivaldi mandolin concertos being played on this. That'd be really cool to hear. Anyway, there it is. A really, really fun instrument for me to build. I have now in my head, and in sort of like semi discussions with a couple upcoming clients, the idea of doing one of these, or rather an archtop version of the Nautilus. Do it a thin line with a P90 pickup as an electric guitar, but it would have that Nautilus look, and I believe a lot of the resonance in that. I think you would just get killer, amazing sustain out of that instrument. So this was a fun foray for me into what I consider real luthery. I had some help from my friends Wyatt Wilkie and Austin Clark, who are both like fantastic archtop makers. Austin makes beautiful mandolins and octave mandolins, and Wyatt makes all sorts of archtop, mostly jazz guitars, but also great mandolins. So thank you guys for your help with suggestions and techniques. And thank you, Jim, for commissioning this thing. It's just an absolute blast to build. So there it is. I'm going into the studio, photo studio tomorrow, so I should have some really pretty pictures of this coming up online. So thanks for watching, everyone. There it is, Mr. Octave Mandolin.